Alright guys, I am Doctor McFarland. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here and you like talking about gear, whether that's guitars or amps, pedals, maulers, recording equipment, just really everything that you need to make music with anyways, then come on in, let me know your name, where you're from, and if you have any kind of questions that I can address during this live stream. If you do have some questions, then who's this person? I think I need to hear something like that. Thank you. Maybe the jamming at the front. Pretty good stuff. So. Or maybe just the title of the video. Maybe you need to hear what the best mauler of 2026 is. So what I'm going to do, this is going to be a kind of a hodgepodge of, I'm going to go through all the things I have currently in my possession, which I will use the Headrush MX5 because I have the core at work, and I don't currently have my Prime here in front of me. So with all that said, of course, we have, well, not of course, but here is the Helix Stadium XL. This is on loan from Zounds.com, and you will quickly realize that if you were going to collect all the different maulers, you're not getting out for less than 10 grand. You're spending a lot of money on these maulers, and we can go through them. So brand new, the Stadium XL is roughly, what is it? It's roughly like $2,300. That's already a quarter. Like if we're gonna keep 10 grand, back from our budget and then try to spend that on gear, that's already a quarter of your budget right there, or at least 23% of it, right? If I'm doing quick math. And then we got a Headrush Prime. Let's just go from the top dog here. The Headrush Prime is $1,000. So now you're at $3,300. The Fractal FM9. I'm not going to do the Axe effects because I just prefer the FM9 myself. The FM9 is about $1,800. So let's just round up to 2 grand. So now we're at $5,300 or $5,300. Quad Cortex is going to be that 17-ish kind of range. So we're now at let's just say we're at 7 grand now, because we're going to go up to 6 with that extra $700 and then add another 1,000. So now we're at 7 grand. Toemaster Pro is going to run you about another 1,700. So we're at 8,300. No, that's not right. We're at 8,700, and then let's add in like a Boss GT1000, which is about $1,200, maybe $1,000. And that pretty much gets us to our $10,000 range right there. Yes, there's the QC, there's the headrest, there's the Line 6 Stadium XL. If you want to get the Stadium without the expression pedal, then that's a little bit cheaper than $2,300. But regardless, if you're going to collect them all, then you're going to spend a lot of money. And I'm constantly aware of like, man, I got a lot of gear. I got a lot of money tied up in gear that is really not making me a lot of money. I just sit here and make YouTube videos, but no one's really buying. Well, I mean, some people are. Some people buy my preset packs and whatever else. But yeah, I do this in the sole heart of like I'm a teacher, so I want to teach you how to use these devices. Like I've learned how to use these devices over the years, and if you want to give back to me in exchange by buying my preset pack or buying any product off of my website, then that's great. I appreciate it. It's not necessary, but I do appreciate it, and it's just another way to support me here on YouTube. So, with all that said, let's go down a list here of things that we need to perform live and or record in the studio. Okay? Now, so he did like the chords I played. Well, that's great. I was able to stay in the key of C major, A minor, and not make too many mistakes there. But all right, so Stadium XL, what do you get for $2,300 that you don't get with other units? And that's probably a good starting point here. So we do have the nice scribble strips above each foot switch. So that's already it's a creature comfort that you don't have to have. The Boss units don't have scribble strips. They have everything just showing on the screen. But it is really, really nice when you're trying to hit a foot switch real fast, and you don't want to, especially with the Stadium versus the Stadium XL, because Stadium just has a play mode versus edit mode, or play view versus edit view. And if you're trying to look at the screen up here and then coordinate with your eyes, like, okay, this one's the second block, so I need to go down here, hit that switch, stuff like that. It's definitely not as convenient to do that, but you can get used to it over time, so it's not a huge deal. Okay, so scribble strips, I think, are really high up there as for me in my workflow on what you can do on a unit and just make it as seamless and easy to use as possible. Okay, so and the Stadium obviously has it. The Fractal FM9 has scribble strips, which is awesome. The OG Helix, which I have right over here, which I may plug in a little bit later, it also has scribble strips. The Stomp and Stomp XL and stuff like that, they do not have scribble strips. You kind of have to rely on the bigger screen to see what you're looking at and see how you have assigned things to those switches. Okay, so scribble strips are really, really ideal. Okay. The next thing that we want to look at is the number of inputs and the number of outputs we have available. So with the Helix and the Fractal, they both have multiple input options, but the Stadium or the Helix only has a mic pre, and the Fractal does not have a mic pre. For example, if we were comparing Fractal to Stadium type options, if you look at the Toadmaster Pro, which is drastically smaller, which we can look at size later, that also has a mic input. The Quad Cortex has dual mic pre's and dual inputs. I think it's dual inputs for 1/4 inch inputs, because essentially you can have 4 different inputs and have those be across 4 different lines on the screen. Like this screen right here has 2 different lines I can go between. The Quad Cortex has 4 total signals or paths that you can create. So you could have like a bass path, an acoustic guitar path, electric guitar path, and a vocal path. and then process all those things separately and have them go out the either the 1/4 inch output or the XLR output. You can pan them left and right, going to the front of house and stuff like that. Now on the back of this one, which I'd have to move around, but this one only has one mic pre-input, and it's really a combo jack. So you can have well, is it a combo jack? Let me move this around. Yeah, no, it's not a combo jack. It's just a regular XLR input. So you can plug in one microphone and still have two other inputs going for other stuff. So there's that. We do have the input options. So we got scribble strips. We have number of inputs and outputs. This one, the Helix has, or the Stadium XL has 4 loops. Okay, so you can incorporate other pedals into your signal chain. And how to do that is you would have to tap on a block. And then I really feel like these knobs are like kind of in my way when I'm trying to see what's happening. But we have effects loop, right? Then we have effects loop 1, 2, 3, and 4. And or we can just do a send 1, 2, 3, 4, or a return 1, 2, 3, 4. Or we have stereo loops, which is loops 1 and 2, and 3 and 4, and so forth. So if you had something plugged into effects loop 1, and then we choose that, then there's our effects loop right there. So you can see that it's going out, then it's coming back in, and then we can have another go out, go in, go out, go in, and so forth. Okay? I will go ahead and delete that for now. Let's see if I can, what happens if I just drag it. Okay, there we go. I did it. Okay, so we got scribble strips, we got ins and outs, effects loops, other things. Let me set this guitar down for a second. Let me grab something else. All right, so here's the ToneMaster Pro, for example. Let me change my screen. And I can also plug this in a little bit later as well. Whoa, that's kind of weird. You can see like a double view in the camera. Interesting. But this one has also has 4 stereo loops, or 4 loops total. So the same as the Quad Cortex, same as the Helix. But let's look at the size of things here. So we put this over the top, and it's just shy of the 6th foot switch over here. Okay, so we're kind of cutting it off right here, which if you look, we only have 5 foot switches across 2 rows. Okay, so we do have 1 less row of switches, which, it is what it is. So if you're looking for size and you just don't need that many switches, then, maybe the Quad or the ToneMaster Pro is for you. Now, the same is going to apply for the Quad Cortex. That one only has 5 rows of switches. And what do we got going on here? This is like getting scratched for something. Some kind of reason. Okay. Let's go to, but if you have any questions about any of this stuff, then, leave a comment in the chat over there. And if you want to chat about something else, I'm perfectly fine with that. This is just the topic that I had on my mind today, but we can talk about anything else that you want. Okay. So don't think that we have to stick to, just this one thing here. Yes, I'm going to allow. Wow. Look at that. I'm going to change this to that one there. Okay, so let's just go to Zounds.com. I am the official affiliate partner for Zounds.com. They have recently added even more cool stuff to their options. So let's go look at Neural DSP. And once again, this is at $1,800. So they also have the Quad Cortex, the Mini, for $13.99, which is about the same price as everybody else. They do have straightforward financing and you never pay any interest ever. You just keep paying the same monthly payment till it's paid off, and then you're done. They also don't do any credit checks. So if you have bad credit or no credit, and you just want to be able to buy something on a payment plan, then you can totally do that. They do have free 1 day shipping. When I ordered the Helix Stadium XL right here, I got that. I ordered it on a Thursday afternoon, and I got it the next day, like on a Friday. So it was pretty fast. I think they shipped from New Jersey or something, or there might have been some other. I think they have multiple different um, locations across the U.S. that they can ship from. But yeah, it's super fast and reliable and great service. And if you have any issues, that you can return it. You do have to pay for return shipping with Zounds, which may not be the case with Sweetwater, but it is what it is. So, but looking at the Quad Cortex here, this is pretty interesting stuff. So we have 5 rows of 2 or 2 rows of 5 switches. We do have one additional switch up here, which is fine. But what you get with that is you don't have any scribble strips. So going back to point number one of scribble strips is really, really great to have. But when you're having to see everything on the screen, they did recently add a mode switch or a mode option. So if you hold the tuner in the tap tempo or whatever this is, you can now enter into gig view by holding two of the switches, and you can change the timing of those switches. So if you need to hold it for like half a second, then it'll hold for half a second. If you want to hold it for 200 milliseconds, then it'll only hold for 200 milliseconds, and so on and so forth. Okay. And these will mainly be these 4 switches here across the 2 rows. These will mainly be for your scenes and your presets and your stomps. Okay. There is a stomp view, there's a scene view, and there's a preset view. You can change that, I think, also by holding this switch up here, possibly. I don't really remember. I owned the Quad Cortex just for maybe 6 months or so, about 2 years ago. But I ultimately sold it because it did get hot. I noticed that the heat was an issue, which was kind of strange. And once again, just the foot switches were a little too close together, in my opinion, and I was not too fond of that. Now I can get a Quad Cortex from Zounds as a review unit, and you let me know in the comments or in the chat here during this live stream if you want to see me do some Quad Cortex kind of content. That I can definitely do that. It's just a matter of getting one here into the studio, and just making it happen. So, but I don't have any plans to really. I would like to check out the Quad Cortex Mini, just to say that I did and make a few videos on it. But it's just something that I don't really care for. Now, with that said, the number of switches, if you're in the studio, it really doesn't matter. And that's the way the Stadium XL has come across this idea of what's the perfect number of switches that you need, and they say like 0, because essentially you're allowing the unit to change everything for you by adding flags in your arrangement view of the song. So if you're playing a backing track or at least with a click track, and you got the click track going along, you can put in different flags, and they'll change for you between the different snapshots that are on the Helix. You can technically do the same thing with any of these other modeling units. You just have to have a separate computer spitting out the PC messages that are now talking to your modeler. And I mean, people have been doing this for years, honestly. They have a separate computer sending out MIDI messages to their lights, to their modeling units, to their MIDI pedals on their pedal board. And the stadium just came along and said, well, we're going to do all that, but just put it in one unit. Okay. So we got $1,800 right there. Now, if you ask really nicely, if you call like a sales rep or something, you can probably get at least 10% off, pretty easy, which would be $179. So that'd be another, let's just round down. Let's just say it's 1,800. You can essentially spend about $1,600, give or take, on a brand new quad cortex. Then, if you want to find one used, obviously you can find it used on either Reverb or on Marketplace, and probably find one for 13 to 1,500, somewhere in there, depending on taxes or if you're buying it local and whatever else. Okay. So that is the Quad Cortex. It's a great option. It's a great sounding option. They essentially have taken what the Helix does, and this is a little bit darker than I really want. ISO. I'm gonna see if I can brighten this up real fast. ISO. Yeah, let's make it like that. Okay. Excuse me. All right, so what we have done here is I'm gonna expand that up like that. Okay. I don't even know what I was talking about. Oh, the signal chain. So this is a relatively flexible signal chain. You can plug you can start here, go across, come down to the next row, go across, and use up both DSP cores. Very similar to what the Quad Cortex does, as in being able to split paths and go down and do like parallel type things and whatever else. Okay. So signal flow is pretty. I guess that would be like a third topic here is the signal flow. And if you need to have parallel, like, dual amps and parallel reverbs and whatever else, what kind of unit allows you to do stuff like that? So the Fractal is actually a blank slate. You can do any signal path that you want. You just have to do it within the number of blocks that they give you. Which I think is on the FM9 is 14 across, and then like a grid of maybe I think eight high. So you have a lot of area to move things around how you want. Okay. And actually the Line 6 has been around the longest, and any other modeler after Line 6 is pretty much copying Line 6 in multiple different ways. I think Headrush is the first screen or touch screen available on the market. I might be wrong about that, but it was pretty early on when Headrush came out. And now we have the Toemaster Pro, we have the Quad Cortex, the Helix Stadium XL now has the touch screen, and the Headrush has a touch screen. So multiple units these days have a touch screen. The GX100 from Boss also has a touch screen. It's not as flexible as what you see here on these kind of screens here, but it still works pretty good, and it makes it to where you don't have to use knobs as much. You can just touch everywhere on the screen and do everything that you need to on the screen. Okay. I'll be playing here in a little bit more. Let's just go look at the Toemaster Pro real fast. So $15.99. So this is it was $16.79. So it's gone down in price, which is great. So if the Quad Cortex was $1,800, this is $1,600, and you can get an open box like new for $14.99. So that's really good. You really can't beat that. But what I do like about the Toemaster Pro is they do have the bank up and down, and they have essentially 6 different presets that you can switch between. So this is a hybrid view that let me show you what I'm talking about. Hello. This is the hybrid view that they have on the screen. So this is 3 rigs or presets across the bottom, and then you have 3 stomps across the top. Okay. Now you can have more than that, or you can have more stomps and scenes if you hit the foot switch mode. That gives you a total of 8, or really 9 scenes, because they have a base scene. Then you can turn on 8 more scenes after that. And I just really like it. I mean, honestly, the sounds are great. It's smaller, and they do have preset and gig view, and you can go to like this little matrix mixer type thing. It's not as flexible as what you see on the Helix here. If I go back to my Helix and press on one of these, like this actually gives you like all your different paths. You can change the volumes of your paths, which is cool. Then you have your music option. So there's all 8 of your tracks right there. And then you still have a separate metronome. You have your count-in volume, your USB returns, and your Bluetooth right there, right? With the Stadium having showcase and stuff like that, they really went out of their way to make it the most flexible for live use. Now, as far as I remember, let's actually plug this in real fast. This would be fun. So let's go over to the Toemaster Pro. Let's turn off our Stadium XL here. Put this down. We'll plug this in. The great thing about the Toemaster Pro is the boot up time compared to the Stadium is nowhere near the same length of time. It's kind of crazy how long it takes for the Stadium to turn on, which is not good, honestly. If you're in a show and your rig goes down and you got to wait for it to reboot, I mean, you're wasting at least half the song trying to get your thing to reboot again, which is not good. But honestly, to me, the Toemaster Pro is the perfect size. It just sounds really good. You are slightly limited in the number of signal paths that you can have, which is very similar, honestly, to the Headrush. The Headrush only gives you I think 7 predetermined signal flows, signal flags, different signal flows. But just for example, let's go and make a brand new. Here's a brand new preset, right? So what we can do, we have to add a block, tap on it, and then we have all these different amp options here. What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm not seeing. Okay, there we go. So here's the combo amps, here's the half stacks, here's the bass amps, here's the amp heads, cabinets. You go into effects, now you got all your stomps, modulation, delay, reverb, dynamics, EQ, filter, pitch, synth, and then that's it for that. You do have IRs you can go into. These are all my Doctor McFarland IRs you can get from sonicdna.com. You can also go into effects loops, and stuff like that. Okay. So going back to, let's just bring in a combo amp, for example. If I want to bring in a Princeton reverb, here's some presets that I've already made before. But what's cool about this is it already gives you the amp and the cab already in one block, so you don't have to have separate blocks. Now you can separate them out if you want. You can just add the amp head, then add a separate cab. Okay, let me turn down this master volume here so it's not so loud. And that just gives you a very good starting point to start adding your other effects. And if you're a very simple player, then maybe all you need is just an amp and an overdrive and a delay and a compressor and let the fingers do the talking, right? That's pretty much all you need at that point. And then from here, what we're doing is this actually has gapless switching, which let's go ahead and talk about some gapless switching right now. Currently, which I did see in the interview between Lee and the guy from Line 6 on the Anderton's channel, currently on the OG Helix, you had a way to basically bypass the second DSP signal path. And that allowed you to have gapless switching between presets. But currently on the Stadium XL, that option is not available, even though he said in the interview that it will be available sometime in the spring or just whenever they add it. Okay, so that feature is coming. But right now, what gapless switching means is you can go from this preset. Let me go ahead and save this. I'll just call this... say clear. So doc, I'm not spelling this right. So doc prints or whatever it is. And then if I wanted to go to a different preset, okay, so let's go ahead and play so you can hear what this does. Okay, there's a weird jump in the sound there, but essentially what happened is on the ToneMaster Pro and on the Fractal FM9 and coming soon to the Helix and on the Headrush and the Quad Cortex does not have gapless switching between presets. You have to use scenes to do all your switching that way. But it is what it is. So if you have a workflow of I only need to switch, basically you can think of it like I need to go from this song. Now that song is ended. Now you're gonna go to this song. Then you go to this song. Then you go to this one, this one, this one, and so on. And this is exactly why they have song view on the ToneMaster Pro, which is this one over here. So we have a doc song, right? And within this song, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different rigs that I have created here. So I'm going to have my doc clean, then my doc rhythm, then my doc lead, doc trim, doc ambient, and then doc swell. Okay, and that's actually a really, really cool thing because within each song, I say song, you can actually have, let's go to, what am I going to do here? I'm trying to go to my preset view. There we are. So in my preset view, you can see that the rigs can change slightly, but they have a gapless switching. Right, you might hear a little interruption in the way the decay of the reverbs and delays hold out, but there's no gap in like the amps switching and different stuff. So it's just a really cool workflow, and it's an option if you want to work that way. Then you need to choose a device that allows you to have gapless switching between presets. And then once you're within a preset, you can also have another layer of switching between scenes and or snapshots. Okay, so I don't know what number we're on right now, but to me that's pretty important. There's a lot to be able to have gapless switching in multiple different ways and paths, so I'm not locked into, well, I really like this preset and I want to switch to another preset. But if I do, I'm going to hear a gap. So that's also another way you can get around the issue. I see this on the Helix especially, to where, let's say you already have like some pitch effects and some really high DSP reverbs and delays, But now you want to add an extra amp, and if you go into the settings to add another amp, then you've already run out of DSP and everything's grayed out. You literally can't add anything more. Okay, so this is a great way to say, like, okay, I want this one rig is only going to have one amp, one pedal, one compressor, a delay and a reverb, and a dual cab, or just however many cabs you want. And then I'm not locked into only that sound. I can easily switch to a different sound and now have a totally different amp and a totally different overdrive and delay and reverb and compressor and cab and whatever else. And it just allows you to have that seamless workflow of, I'm going from a Fender amp to a Marshall amp to a Bogner amp to a, I don't know why you'd want to do this. I mean, it's not really realistic, but you can do that if you have gapless switching. And what's really cool, the neat thing about Fractal is that you have per amp block, you actually have 4 different channels. So it is like a 4-channel amp within the Fractal, which is awesome. But at least if you have on the Toadmaster Pro, if you have it this way, you could have a multi-channel amp, and because my clean can have one amp, my rhythm can have a different amp, and my lead can have another amp. And then I can have like my ambient sound can have an additional amp, like a Vox or something, right? So there's 4 amps right there that I could switch between potentially, and not have to feel like I have to fill up just one preset or rig with all the things I'd ever want. I can kind of pick and choose depending on the song. Okay, so that's kind of what Song View is, and you can have all your list right here. If you have, there's your gig view, or actually song view, right? So I can see I got my Doc slow song, then I can go up to my next song, right? So there's my slow song, and here's my slow basic. Then there's my drive mod. Okay, so now I'm literally just going between the different songs in my set list. Okay, so there's my Doc song again. Here's my Mark in the Mix, which has just a different array of different presets that I've pulled in. Here's my Mayhem, which has, this was actually organized in, here's all my Mayhem presets in one song. But this has a Mezza Mayhem, a Tang, which is an orange, the Ubershaw, the 5153, the SLO, and the Deluxe. So if I click on Mezza, then click on Foot Switch, I have all these different options right here within that one preset. Right, here's the Dual Rec. Here's the Marksman. Then I can also go to a swell delay. Okay. So what makes all this really easy and fun is the touchscreen just allows you to just engage with the unit way easier. Let's actually go back into Song View and go back here. And then maybe I want to go to, like there's a studio bass. Here's a Tang song, which has all my different orange amps in here. So here's a Tang clean. Here's a rhythm. Here's a lead. Here's my trim. Then here's my ambient. And here's my swell. Yeah, and I think it's amazing. So going down to the next song, notice how all that still rings out. But now I'm on a Vox clean. Then a Vox lead. Vox rhythm. And a trim. You can see I pretty much use the same kind of sounds in every song. I have a clean, a rhythm, a lead, a tremolo, an ambient, and a swell. I'm a simple guy. I really don't need 6 different maulers. You know, as long as I have some form and fashion of those 6 core sounds, I can pretty much do anything. Okay. But maybe some nights or some days I don't like the Vox. Maybe I like the more of like a Fender Deluxe or a Tang or something like that, right? And really the Mayhem is more like a best of type deal. So once again, here's like my Ubershaw type stuff. I can switch between 2 different amps. So I still have a good clean sound within that preset that I can just switch back and forth between. Okay, so with all that said, I mean, if you can get something with a touchscreen, that's amazing. If you can get something with scribble strips, even better. If you can get something with multiple inputs and outputs, preferably a microphone input, yes, go for it. If you can get something that has, lots of different ways to switch between different presets and or settings. So one thing that really, that Line 6 came out right away with was the snapshots and being able to change parameters of your block, whether that's an amp or an overdrive or a delay or something. You can do all that per snapshot or per scene just by going and setting all that up, right? And the Quad Cortex can do that. The ToneMaster Pro can do that. The Fractal can do that, but they use controllers, and it's a little bit more involved to set that up. So you really gotta know how to use the unit and set that up accordingly. It's not impossible to do, but it's just not as quick and intuitive as any of these other devices. Now the Headrush is similar. They don't allow you to change. You can change per scene, but you literally have to go create block presets first of all the different settings that you would want, and then within a scene, you have to go tell that block, I want you to use this block preset. Then when you hit that switch, it switches over to that sound. And if you're actually switching between different amps, you are gonna hear a gap because you're not just keeping the same amp in there anymore. You're now switching between multiple different amps, and you will hear a gap. So that's not the greatest thing that the Headrush does, but as long as you keep the amp the same, you can easily change gain, volume, bass, middle, treble, all the stuff, and it just makes it super easy. So let me switch this out for one more thing. Let's bring up the old Fractal here. But I love, for the price and just the whole overall form factor and the sturdiness and everything about it, for me, the ToneMaster Pro is the way to go. I can't imagine spending another $800 on the Helix Stadium XL just to get showcased and just to get the capacitance switches. And I mean, the capacitance switches is really cool, but if you don't need showcase, if you don't need proxy, if you don't need but that's another thing, all the profiling and amp capture tech. The ToneMaster Pro does not have amp capture options at this point. Maybe they'll add it later in the future. But for right now, they only do mauling. But yeah, if you're going to get that Stadium XL, you're definitely buying it specifically for the features. It's not going to be a matter of does it sound better than another thing. It's because you need those features. Okay. One feature that, as I switch, one feature that the Fractal does not have is Bluetooth. And I know you can definitely get, Bluetooth receivers and stuff like that, and you can add them into a loop. But but it's just not as convenient, and I don't like that. So, all right, so last one for today, we're going to plug in a little FM9 action right here, okay? So we're going to take this, we're going to plug it in. Now, once again, as I said earlier, this one has multiple inputs and outputs, which is awesome. But we'll look at the fractal and we'll decide what the best option is here. Now, Andrew says he's ordering an FM9. Now, if you want a good deal, I may or may not be keeping this FM9. I'm not sure yet. I'm really on the fence about how much money I have tied up in all these different modeling units, and is the payoff of keeping all these just to make videos and to make preset packs that not a lot of people are watching or even buying at this point. Is it a good financial move to dump a bunch of money into all these different modelers when you already have the likes of Rhett Scholl and you got Leon Todd that does tons of fractal content? Do I really want to try to compete with them for preset pack sales and views on my channel and all the different stuff? So I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. Let me change the ISO here. Let's change this. Let's darken it up just a little bit. Okay. That way you can see that I've intentionally darkened the scribble strips, so they have a black or a darker background with white text versus whatever. All right, so the FM9, I kind of addressed this in a recent video, but what's cool about the FM9? Well, let's talk about the what I don't like about the FM9. One, it doesn't have a touchscreen, which is not. It doesn't really matter. I mean, I can get around with this just fine, but once you're used to using a touchscreen, it is very convenient. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it is very convenient having the touchscreen and the touchability of interacting with the unit. And everybody says that the fractal user interface is not that great. Yes, I have learned to use it like the back of my hand. I can get around just fine. But if you really want to change something on the fly during a live show or like before a gig, and you don't feel like you have to plug in, and you don't want to have to feel like you have to plug in a unit into a computer just to edit something, then getting something with the touchscreen is very, very nice. Okay, I'm just going to say that, and that's my professional opinion. Okay? All right, now with all that said, the Fractal does not have Bluetooth. Okay, so if you wanted to stream something from your phone or computer or whatever, mobile device, you can't just stream that and then practice silently at night with headphones or something. Now, with that said, though, let's go to Amazon and let's see what kind of Bluetooth options that we actually have. Okay, it may not be that big of a deal. I'm going to continue shopping. So, Bluetooth receiver. Let's see what we got. Here's like a little dongle thing with some RCA jacks. You essentially would have to go RCA out into, you'd have to go into one of the loops back here. You'd have to go into an input and then into like one of the returns over here. Yeah. Balanced inputs. Well, we're not doing a extended return. We're just doing a single thing. Yeah, so you could go like in, left, and right. Let me see if I can show you this here. So like right over here in this area, you can't really see it. So input 1 and 2 right here. You could go Bluetooth in to one of these. And then when you're setting this up on your device, let me move it there so we're not getting the glare. When you're setting this up, for example, I want to hit enter. Let's actually go back home and let's go to like a brand new preset, just for example. Okay. So going into here, I'm going to hit zoom so you can zoom out to all the blocks. You actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I was right before. You have a 14 by 6 grid that you can essentially put any block anywhere that you want and then connect them with shunts, which is essentially a patch cable, and just get the ultimate inflexibility of being able to have multiple amps and multiple drives and multiple delays and reverbs and whatever else. Now, with that said, the Fractal, actually, you are limited in how many reverbs you can have. The FM3, you can only have one reverb and one amp block. Now, with that said, you do have 4 channels for that one block, and you can switch between channels of an amp seamlessly or without any gaps. But if you were to try to change a reverb from like a spring to a hall to a plate to whatever, like a shimmer or something, you would hear the reverb tails cut off when you go from one reverb to the next. That's why it's very important to have at least 2 reverb blocks that you can strategically switch between in your scenes and presets and all that stuff. So with all that said, if you were going to add in a block, you would have to go enter. Then I'm just going to hold down enter until we go all the way across. Maybe I want to do this kind of thing. Okay, whatever. So now on this first block, I have inputs 1, 2, and 3, right? So I could have it to where Bluetooth is coming in on input 2. And actually, I can even do this way. Let me go to input 1, press enter here. Now I can actually go up here and say, I want this to also be input 2, and then the output, I didn't do that right. Hold on, let me go back over here. See, this is where you get a little screwy. Then my output, I want that to be output number 2, right? Or it can be output 3 or whatever else. So now you've assigned essentially a totally separate path for your Bluetooth input going into the device, and there's all kinds of cool stuff in here. But really, like the Bluetooth audio adapter for music streaming sound system, it's only $20, and if you really needed to have that option, then I would get a RCA jack or dual RCA to dual 1/4 inch. And make sure you go into that. Cooper Carter does a lot with Fractal as well. So you don't need me doing Fractal stuff. I mean, come on. And I also put this on a credit card, which I'm slowly paying off. But it'd be nice not to have to pay that extra money, and I can put it towards something else. So, but yeah, that's what I would do. I would just buy a Bluetooth adapter, and you're a monkey's uncle. I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm just looking for something else here. Yeah, so honestly, that's pretty much it. As far as Fractal goes, you can add a Bluetooth. That's not a big deal. Your looper is per preset. Okay, so if you were wanting to start a loop on this preset and then switch to a different preset that didn't have a loop, well, your loop will be cut off. Okay, so if you're a big looper guy, then I think the same happens for Helix as well. The Headrush doesn't do that. the looper on a head rush is pretty much like global thing, and you can literally go between any preset that you want. The same goes for the ToneMaster Pro. I think the same goes for the Quad Cortex. They're all global loopers, while the Helix and the Fractal is pretty much per preset. You have to intentionally put a looper block in your signal path. So like you would have to go all the way over here. Let's go to the very, very end. We're going to go to the L's. See, there's my looper 1, right? So now anything that I play is going to be on a loop. Let me grab my guitar for a second. And let's just go add in an amp. Okay, so we're going to press... well, we don't press anything at this point. We just need to go select the block that we want and then use our large encoder to change to amp 1. Press enter. Go over. We're going to add a cab. Press enter. And now we can actually hear something. Actually, we need to add an output. So I'm going to go here, go to output 1. And now we can... Now, within that, it's really cool is you can go to your amp, click on edit, and we have, amp a channel A, B, C, or D. We can choose multiple different amp options in here. Really too much, honestly. But, I mean, they're all good. I am more than likely going to plan out a maybe like 2 or 3 months of content, and then spend a few days to just bang them all out, and then just release them slowly over time. And then in the meantime, I can be selling off the Fractal. I mean, I really love the Fractal, but it is really a money thing. I just can't have tons of money tied up in all these different modelers when, I'm not making that much money from them. So that's the way it is. Ultimately, I would probably just keep the Headrush core. I still have the Headrush MX5. Then I really love the Fender ToneMaster Pro for what it does and its overall sounds and, whatever. It works for me. So, so after we've chosen the amp, we can do a page over. We can clean this up. We can bring up the level. Right. You can also go over to the power amp section, go down, and you can bring up the bias trim. Which is pretty cool. It's 5:01, so we've gone for about an hour. But I think... Yeah, I think a Bluetooth adapter is not that big of a deal. And you can assign it to, in preferences, you can make all your outputs gain together. So essentially you could say, yes, I want this to be output 3, but they're all going to share the same output going out of, the XLR 1 and 2 or whatever it is, right? And they still can go to your headphones and so forth. I think the headphones follow output 1 anyway. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit store, and let's just store it twice. So how about that? So you go store, enter, and then I'm going to do this again. I'm going to change the location to here. Okay, so check this out. I'm going between, I essentially store the same preset twice, but I'm going to go add a really long reverb, and you can see how I can switch between different settings. Let's bank up. Oh, it says empty because I didn't really name it. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, we're just going to stay on this one. and so forth. All right, let's go add a reverb so you can hear how this gapless switching works. It's pretty cool. All right, so reverb 1. Let's make it let's go to edit. And they got really good options in here. London plates, nice. Let's crank up the time to like something stupidly long. And we got this. Okay, so store, enter. I'm going to play. All right, notice it did cut off, but I can show you how to fix that. So going back, we're going to hit enter. And within our reverb settings, go to edit. And we want to go over to the mix. And our bypass mode is going to be effects in. Okay, so check this out. I got to do this one. Or mute effects in. Okay, so mute effects in is what the manual says. Leon Todd has said it before. I'm sure Cooper Carter has said this. I've said it in videos. That's just how you do it. After you really, the best thing to do with any of these is to read the manual. Yes, you can watch hours upon hours of YouTube videos, but sitting down on a Friday night with your unit and just really just combing through the manual section by section, it's really going to open your eyes to, one, how well the company supports their product, because of how clear they write their manuals. And then you'll just gain little insights without really having to go watch tons and tons of videos. So that's really all I've done on my channel for the last 8 years. It's just try to be a video manual and base everything that I show and teach in my videos directly from what the manual already says anyways. Okay? So you can save a lot of time and not even watch my channel and just go read the stupid manual, or RTF, right? Read the effing manual. Just do it, please. So here we go. Now that we have mute effects in, I'm going to now switch between our presets here. So here's this. Okay, why is it not doing it now? It totally should be doing it. I'm looking like a liar right now, and I don't know why. Let's go to setup. Let's go to global settings. There should be something in here. I got my gapless channel scene preset is set to all. My spillover set to all. There's something in my preset that's not allowing me to have gapless switching, and I'm not sure why. Bypass mode. Mute effects in. Yeah. Interesting. Let's actually go over to, let's go to this block. Let's just say, uh-oh. What did I do? Yeah, we want to delete that. We want to delete that. Okay. Store. Let's see if this does it. All right. I'm baffled right now. I'm looking like a liar because, like, oh, you said you could have gapless switching. It's like, well, you can. Excuse me. But there's something that is impeding my ability to do this at the moment. And I'm not really sure why. Let's go delete, let's delete these. Let's delete them. Store, enter. Okay. We're going to do this again. There we go. Now the reverb's still turned off. All right, I have no idea. No idea what's happening there. Now, you have a few different decisions to make right now. You either have to go look on YouTube and see why that's not working, or you have to dive into the manual. With the ToneMaster Pro and the headrush, they're just automatic. They just spill over. Now, within the reverb and delay blocks, you do have to tell it to turn on the spill feature for those. But this totally should be working. So, anyway, yeah, as much as the FM9 sounds good, it is kind of aggravating working with it after using touchscreens for so long. Yeah, delay will also spill over as well, Andrew. But there's something I'm not doing. Clearly, there's something I'm not doing. So gapless channel scene preset set to all, spillover set to all, reverb mix, effects mix, noise gate offset, prompt on edited preset change is turned off. That is just really, really strange. Now, what you can do, I mean, obviously, well, not obviously, but if I go into my effects here, I can turn on and off my reverb, and check this out. I'm gonna do this one more time. Okay, notice I bypassed the reverb, but the tails keep going. That should be happening. That should be happening between presets, and I do not know why it's not. All right. Well, folks, I'm a true professional, and but I'm also human, and I make mistakes. So at this point, I do not know why that's not working. But it also just reiterates of like, yeah, I mean, I love the fractal. I love the foot switches. You can have like a tap and a hold function for each switch. Even within scenes, it's pretty cool. You can also switch between different layouts very easily. You got 8 different layouts right here you can choose between. Here's your looper. If you want to do like here's your tap tempo with the play, record, half speed, reverse, erase, all the stuff. Here's a looper bypass. Looper bypass. Interesting. Now, maybe the looper has to be on the other side of this. So what I'm going to do is move this block left, press execute, store, enter. Let's try this one more time. Maybe the looper is throwing it off. Hopefully. Let's see if this is true. All right, so nope, that didn't do it. That didn't do it. Well, there you go. Anyway. Mute the effects. Honestly, Andrew, they should be gapless between presets, and I just do not know why it's not working right this second. But they totally should be. Totally should be. But that's one of the joys and adventures that you're going to have to go through if you buy a Fractal FM9 Mark II Turbo, is you're going to have to deal with the learning curve of figuring out this fractal unit, okay? And you can pretty much get a Stadium XL out of the box and not even have to read the manual, and it just works. It's just really cool. I will end it with this. The Stadium XL has the focus mode to where you can drag your finger around the screen and it changes all the parameters in real time. And that right there, if you don't know anything about modelers, but you're going to spend the money on something that is super dead easy to use, then yes, the Stadium XL is expensive, or even just buying the Stadium without the expression pedal. They are both relatively expensive, but the feature set that they have just makes life super easy. Okay, and I know, Andrew, that you're coming from an OG Helix. So if you're already used to the Helix workflow and you want to continue that just with some better, more convenient features, then yes, that's what you would want to do. Bypass mode is on. Well, going back into here, going into edit, see, mute effects in is what you want. Okay. And it works within the same preset, but when you go between this preset to the other preset, it definitely, I just heard something. It definitely should just work. So, and I'm not sure why it's not working. But yes, the bypass mode has to be mute effects in for all that to work. Okay. So it is hard to figure out what you want to do these days, but it really does come down to money. I bought my headrest core on Marketplace for $450, and it's very inexpensive, but it does have drum machine. It has great amp sounds that I can switch between multiple different amps within a rig. It's got Bluetooth on it. It's got a touch screen. The core does not have scribble strips, but you do have a nice little strip across the bottom of the screen that tells you what each foot switch is doing. And I've gotten used to that, and that works perfectly fine. So honestly, for the money, the Headrush is amazing. If you don't want to spend a lot of money but get the most amount of features possible, the Headrush is an excellent choice. It's got a great tuner. It's got a great feel and approachability to it. My second best option, even though it's a little bit more expensive, I would look at the Toemaster Pro. If you're gonna upgrade from the Headrush or even an old Helix or something, getting a Toemaster Pro is well worth the investment. This thing is so fun to use. It sounds great. It's got the presets in the gig view and the song view. It's got the gapless switching between literally everything. And it's easy to dial in. It's fun to use. That's really the biggest thing. It's got to be fun to use. And I like it. So you got Headrush number one based on the price and the number of features you get with that price. If you want to upgrade from that, then get the Toemaster Pro. And if you really have to have the click tracks and the showcase and all that kind of stuff, then yes, go ahead and spend the money on the Helix Stadium XL. But for me, that would be absolutely last resort. Okay, and notice all of these do have touch screens. They all have some sort of scribble strip option, or at least you can see it on the screen in an easy way. The Fractal and the Boss units do not have touch screens. They don't have Bluetooth. Though you can add those later. And the UI is just not as inviting as something with the touchscreen. So I would probably cut this down and make a short out of it. But once again, I'm going to reiterate. Headrush number one for price and the most amount of features for that price. If you want to upgrade from a Headrush, get a Toemaster Pro. If you want to upgrade from a Toemaster Pro with all the bells and whistles, then get the Helix. I've already messed it up. Get the Helix Stadium XL. And so based on your price and the features that you want, there's three options that you can dive into and get great sounds for recording, for live use, whatever you want to do. Okay? Thanks, guys, for watching. I am Dr. McFarland. Be sure to subscribe down below and click the bell. Thank you, Andrew, and the only one other person that was free to comment. Emery Amaz, whatever your name is. Thanks for watching. And all you other people, all you 7 people right now that are still watching, thanks for coming in. Hope this video was somewhat entertaining and helpful. And I just enjoy going live once a week and talking to you guys and seeing how I can help the best that I can. So you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next video. Keep rocking.